Stop stalling, come on.
I can't think, it's all this noise.
Or is it because I've built a stronghold around Greenland? I've driven you out of Western Europe? And I've left you teetering on the brink of complete annihilation.
I'm not beaten yet. I still have armies in the Ukraine.
The Ukraine. You know what the Ukraine is? It's a sitting duck. A road apple, Newman. The Ukraine is weak. It's feeble. I think it's time to put the hurt on the Ukraine.
I come from Ukraine. You not say Ukraine weak?
Yeah, well, we're playing a game here, pal.
Ukraine is came to you? How about I take your little boras?
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I kind of want to see your face and have it on record. You ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
You ready, Dan?
Yeah. Das Badania.
Das Badania. From America with love, motherfucker.
These boys are going to war.
I am in solidarity with my home country of Ukraine. Das Badania, comrade.
Das Badania. I know Russian and Ukraine. How? Google Translate.
YouTube finds this insulting.
Good. Do I fit in the algorithm yet?
You are enticing violence to Ukrainians, which YouTube probably wouldn't. YouTube probably wants to incite violence against Russia or against Ukraine.
No, actually, no. I don't.
Well, all together. This isn't an extended mag. It just holds extra rounds. That's what the box said.
Yeah.
I think YouTube
I bought this without a
only
print.
backs China and Russia.
Well, I want to see what the actual reason for this invasion and what the truth of it is, because there's too much misinformation once again floating on.
All right, we haven't started the damn show yet, Dad.
I don't know.
Bring you here.
I think we
Jeez.
started it somehow. I think this is a weird, not normal intro. I think this has started.
Hey, something new.
This is episode 83 of The Weekly Show, all the week's hottest topics with a twist. I am David,
Including
as
the
always
intro.
is Ryan, and Ryan's Ukrainian father.
Yep.
These boys are ready to go to war. Oh, man.
I think
You
I have
ain't
this on
grandma
the road.
proud.
He's got extra mag.
I got extra mag with me, you know.
Be sure to follow us Facebook and YouTube. Also follow us on Rumble. Like the video if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you rumble the video if you're watching on Rumble. You too have you understood the assignment for sure.
What's the assignment today? You know,
But
I didn't know. I didn't know I was reporting for duty, but you know, Das Badania. Is that what we keep saying?
Das Badania.
Das Badania.
Comrade.
Squirt gun, squirt gun, squirt gun. That's the white guy Durka Durka. Squirt gun, squirt gun, squirt gun.
It's like the old joke goes tankety tank, shootity shoot, and they're just falling over dead. Yeah.
All right, we're off the rails.
We're way off on a tangent. Why don't you start the show?
I swear I haven't been like this all day. I swear. This just
I told Ryan before we did the show, as much as Russia and Ukraine is all over the news, and we will talk about it, I don't want people to lose focus on the bigger picture here. Let's start with this. Ryan sent me this because he saw that I posted this, but I think this is an important thing to note. And we, on this program, if you watch the show week in and week out every Monday at 7, you know that our big phrase here is these people know exactly what they are doing. It's important to put context to that, though. That is, when we say these people, we're talking about the elites, the establishment, the swamp, as Trump referred to them as. What this post is referring to, the one I'm about to repeat on air here, is about the people that unfortunately are just normal people, and they watch the news and then they go to the polling stations. These are the people who are created by media narratives and the elites and establishment and the swamp. And the post says this: anti-war and anti-corporation leftists backed a corporate-led vaccine mandate followed by creating a Russian-Ukrainian conflict. If you're an average person who voted for Biden, you were duped. I mean, what more can you say? During the Trump presidency, no new wars were started for the first time, despite what the media told you. Donald Trump, watch Donald Trump. He's mean tweets. He's good. He's crazy. You don't want his finger on the nuke button. What do we have right now? We had Middle Eastern peace deals. What do we have right now? We had an Afghan conflict. Horrible situation that we already did a show about when it happened. What
Remember
do we
the
have
guy
now
falling
with
off
Russia?
the airplane?
Yeah. What
And
do we
now
have
I
now
gotta
with
see a
Russia?
TikTok about missiles flying through the window when I hear babies crying, and I gotta hear my emotions drag through the gutter again.
It's unbelievable. So, I mean, we know the media lies. We know that they do it and why they do it, and we know these people know what they're doing. But unfortunately, it just creates this base of people who really don't know any better. And I did see that for midterm polling, Democrats seem to be doing pretty poorly. I wonder why.
I actually told my father, I don't want to go back to something, but they're arming up at the Capitol again, are they not? Like they were building a wall and stuff. And I brought up to my dad about law and order and how crime's on the rise and everything locally here and everywhere else. The income inequality isn't helping, right? We hear all these things, prices are going up, so crime's going to go up. But I told my dad that it's almost like the insurrection was allowed to happen in a weird way, because they knew if they would have called the DC police in, they probably would have not agreed with the protesters at that event per se, but it might have not been a hostile environment for law enforcement, considering most of them went with the Trump agenda. So I'm bringing that up because we are now seeing, that divide was real clear during the election cycle in 2020, that all of law enforcement basically favored the law and order, what Trump ran on in 2016, he was running on again. But we've seen how the media narrated that one and changing it. Now that they don't have that enemy of Donald Trump to paint as the bad guy, the voodoo, the black, the anti-people of color, the anti-immigration, which I heard some stuff today that was pretty insightful, that was kind of cool about immigration, but kind of scary. But anyways, so yeah, now that they don't have that scapegoat, people are actually kind of seeing for what it is. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's almost like they only got to bide enough time. I was realizing this. I was telling my little brother and one of his friends, they're 18 and 16, right? So the last 2 years of their life have been COVID.
Yeah.
And they're going to go into the world.
For
they
sure.
don't even understand the world before COVID. And now they have to exist in the world that happened after it, the new normal.
Well, speaking of COVID, don't mind me if I'm suckling away on quality cough drops.
Nice.
I have something. It's not COVID. It's worse than when I had COVID, though.
Do you need help, Dave? Do we need to come down there? Dude, I got a full tank of gas before
Is
it
it
goes up to
viral warfare?
$11 a gallon.
Are you a victim of viral warfare?
Viral warfare?
It must be.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to nuke a city in Kiev.
Why
It's
don't we
the-
fund Osmosis Jones?
Did you see, by the way, and we were talking about the midterm polling and everything, and we talk about, when you poll people individually on topics, they tend to be right-leaning. And I thought it was interesting. I saw Ukraine. Did you see they're declaring a state of emergency, and they are granting citizens the right to bear arms?
Yep.
Now, the way the headline's worded, it's kind of goofy, but at the end of the day, citizens in Ukraine are going to have the right to arm up and defend themselves. And I think it's interesting that when push comes to shove, they know what it's about.
It always goes to guns.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, this brings up the whole thing of gun control and all this stuff. This is no accident. We know what they're doing. People familiar with the matter that judge things before they happen, all this stuff. This is why we talk about it. I actually told a friend this week as well that liberty never stops. That's why you got to talk about it every day. I get why people want to distance themselves from this stuff, but you almost can't, because when you get back to it, it's going to be a different thing than it was before. And just the idea that these people in other countries have to ask for permission and have to be granted by this government when there's literally war at their door. And I almost wonder, I know it's a different part of the world. They're probably more aware over there than I am. But I almost wonder if they were lied to about the war possibly coming to the home front in Ukraine this entire time, and these people are kind of caught off guard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If they have to have this emergency proclamation of war and stuff and all these other things, I mean, it's not like we didn't see this coming. I mean, what really changed? Dave, real serious question. What changed between, I don't know, a couple years ago when this first happened and now?
Well,
you know,
an orange guy.
Yeah, I know which question we're leading into, and it's absolutely right. There's no doubt there's weak leadership right now, and that's why. And it doesn't help the situation when you have conflicting reports about President Biden saying that we're putting these sanctions out, but I don't remember the exact quote, but something like, well, it was never going to be effective, just a deterrence. And Kamala Harris, on the other hand, potentially the real president, is saying these sanctions are going to be world ending, and they're going to hurt Russia, and Russia's going to suffer because of this.
It's weird you talk about that, though, because I see articles that talk about how the Russian crisis is going to cost me more money.
And that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen at all because...
Well, first of all, whether it should or shouldn't, why does it happen?
Right. Well,
and then you dig into it, and there's like energy.
Politics and money.
Well, energy, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
and
coal
fertilizer's made by those energy companies because it's a byproduct of taking care of manufacturing crude oil and other natural gases and oils.
Yeah, I just know that. I mean, in general, that stuff flows through Europe.
Ukraine's the largest exporter of fertilizer for the United States.
I actually speaking of Ukraine, I seen a wonderful podcast today.
And Ukraine's the center of all of it.
There's a guy
through the Ukraine. It's supposed to be neutral according to treaty.
Kill me. There's a guy. His name is Patrick Bet David, and I'm sure you've seen him. He's an entrepreneur. He's been on like Shark Tank or stuff. He's like. Okay. Yeah, he runs a podcast. It's called Valuetainment on YouTube. It's wonderful. They got great programs. They had Jordan Peterson on recently and other things. But I recently stumbled across him. He's entrepreneurs. Encourage you. He comes from like an immigrant family and military, and awesome story. Anyways, he actually was talking about Ukraine in particular, why this power move by Russia is so in particular and powerful. It's because of their resources as a country, basically. One of the things he said, they could feed like 400 million people or something. Just the one country of Ukraine. It's like, holy crap, man. It might even be more than that off the top of my head. But all the same things he listed, like natural gas and coal and all these other things. Like, this is not by accident. To be honest, I brought up Trump because I do believe this would happen under Trump. COVID's the time to do everything, right? I mean, what happened during World War II and the Great Depression, right? What pulled us out of the war, at least when I was in school, I don't know what they tell kids now, was World War II. Because encouraged American manufacturing. We were able to turn on our war machine, quote unquote, and become this dumbass world power everybody complains about, but we rest easy sleeping on Egyptian cotton with Chinese mattresses. So what do I know? But I mean, seriously, that's what we're talking about. People got to stop being ungrateful about us being world police when I have every product on earth in my one store, and there's thousands of stores in my neighborhood. So. To round it all out, just the idea that
where's the economy coming from?
It's not. Hold on. It's not by accident that Russia is attacking Ukraine. I do believe this would happen under Trump because COVID is exposing the weaknesses in all things. I've seen all of the maps about the NATO nations against and for joining NATO, obviously, and the people are on the right. It's the Asians and Russia, basically. And yeah, Taiwan. I'm going to say this publicly. This is a theory. So Russia and China signed something. So Russia would not be doing what they're doing. I mean, people are relating it to Hitler and this Blitzkrieg attack, which my cousin and I were talking about earlier. Great conversations to have historically if you look at cool stuff like that. But like the idea that we're just allowing this, it happened. I mean, the Afghans took a bunch of stuff too under Biden. So like this idea that this ideology is like creeping back up from the Cold War, the Soviet Union, I've seen referenced again, which nobody before, I don't know, yesterday knew what the Soviet Union was, apparently, the ideology that killed millions of people more than Hitler. But now we got to hear about it again. These people, remember the people in campuses preaching communism? We got to hear about the ideology again, corrupting the world again. That's what we got to hear about. So I guess what we're saying is like, It's not by accident. It would happen under Trump, but I don't know what would happen under Trump. But I don't think that Putin would not attack Ukraine and the Chinese would not attack Taiwan at the same time, regardless of president, regardless of the time, because of the way COVID has structured the world now. Like everything's desperation, and at some point, these countries that aren't in NATO are gonna like have enough. Like I don't necessarily. There's a reason why the United Nations existed. There's a reason NATO exists, and there's a reason these people like rebel against it. I mean, Russia. Putin was talking about how Ukraine's always been a part of their culture, and like if you look into it, it's spoken by a third of it's Russian or all this, and the sides matter. Like the further west you go, the more they want to be like Europe. The more east you go, they want to be like Russia. So it's like literally like, you know, we always hear about how America is all these things and that, and colonistic, but we're literally seeing like Russia and this country like battle for its idea. Like this country is battling for ideology right now. Mm-hmm. So. The West matters, man. This is like the whole point of Ukraine. Russia is, I found out, I asked all my family today, David, name the closest state to Russia that is in the United States.
The closest state to Russia?
Yeah, United States state.
Is it Alaska?
There you go. There we go. There you go. I found out most millennials do not know how close Russia is to some United States and how they can pretty much hit a lot of stuff with their technologies.
Well, I'll never forget back in the day, the old Sarah Palin. She got hammered for talking about how close Russia was, and they started mocking her, saying she could see Russia from her backyard or whatever, and making it a literal statement. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think
there's a World War II pirate scurvy pilot that he was in like an experimental airplane. He flew right over to Alaska and landed a military base. Said, "I'll tell you everything. Give me citizenship," and they did it. I don't know. It's a famous case I heard about a couple times, but you know, like there's a reason. That's like how close they are. They could fly here on a tank of gas, basically.
It's closer if you go over the Arctic. Over the North Pole, it's even closer.
The point is, people don't know how the like world works, right? And then they're electing presidents. Like my brother's gonna be able to vote in 2 years. Doesn't know shit about anything.
Remember, the Earth's flat. So they could just walk
easy.
Across.
You're gonna get me censored on YouTube.
I think what's important to note when we're talking about whether or not this would happen under Trump, and I'm not saying it would or wouldn't, but the thing that allows all this to happen is our massive interdependence on the rest of the world. This idea that we have to now get our oil from somewhere else because we're shutting down our own onshore and offshore drilling. So we can't even produce our own stuff. Where they're anti-fracking for climate change and all this, and all the things that we get from China and from wherever. I think if we produced more of our own things in house, and COVID has exposed this a lot, but we wouldn't really necessarily have these problems. I'm not saying Russia wouldn't attack Ukraine, but us sanctioning Russia wouldn't hurt us back if we were dependent on ourselves. If we could handle our own business in-house.
Dude, there's no way we can't make enough energy. I just seen like videos of Musk talking about how solar, you'd only need like a 200 square mile. I remember hearing this in high school, and it's like, as a kid, you're like, well, make it. Like, go make it. What are we waiting for?
Elon Musk says just corner of Utah plant or fire up the whole plant.
I mean, why, though? The area that we could build a big-ass solar panel is owned by the federal government.
Right.
It's protected land.
Yeah. What's it protected from?
I don't know. A lizard that's going to go extinct because of climate change anyways.
It's usually human encroachment.
We can't build the thing to save us from climate change because of the thing that's dying because of climate change.
Well, did you see John Kerry?
No, I didn't see what he said.
Oh, wait till you hear this.
He's still alive?
Oh, he's alive. He's the climate czar in the Biden administration.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
He was an idiot when I was first starting to vote, and that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't gotten any smarter.
Oh, my God.
Wait till you hear this. You're going to...
I remember when
former Secretary of State John Kerry has been ripped for expressing hope that Vladimir Putin would, quote, stay on track, unquote, in the fight against climate change in an interview that aired on the day Russian strong the invasion of Ukraine. Wait till... This is the quote from John Kerry. It could have a profound negative impact on the climate, obviously. You have a war, and obviously you're going to have massive emissions consequences of the war. But equally important, you're going to lose people's focus. You're going to lose certainly big country attention because they will be diverted, and I think it could have damaging impact. So, I think hopefully President Putin would realize that the northern part of his country, they used to live on 66% of the nation that was over frozen land. So now he's telling Russians that their land is frozen in case they didn't know. He says,
Dude, don't they want unfrozen land because then they can grow carrots there?
Well, no, here's where it gets terrifying, quote. Now it's thawing, and his infrastructure is at risk, and the people of Russia are at risk. Also, I hope President Putin will help to keep us staying on track with respect to what we need to do for climate. So this is the Biden administration right now. We're really, really nervous that this Ukrainian conflict could cause some climate change.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure he'll declare a state of emergency then, right? A climate crisis, and then rationalize spending any amount of money he wants in the federal government. But I mean, they have that power with the war clauses and everything, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, maybe they'll just start, freezing banks.
It's a hell of...
For people who use too much, they have too much of a carbon footprint.
Yeah. And
Putin's got a bank account and a Twitter, which is more than Donald Trump has right now.
Seeding clouds and all of that, weather manipulation, it's all good.
Is that correct? Is Putin still on Twitter?
Probably.
John from our December chat sent us a thing that was a screenshot of Vladimir Putin on Twitter.
That's really messed up.
Punch it up. See if he's on Twitter.
Really messed up. I don't know about this. I don't think I like this Dorsey.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be on Twitter? What has he done, David? What has he done?
He's literally started a war.
They allow ISIS recruitment videos on YouTube and say it's religious freedom. It's not extreme behavior. We have a graphic before the video starts that it's explicit imagery.
I've seen
this used to be the case. I don't know if that's it now. I'm not speaking out of school, but it is. Why wouldn't the Russian government have a national Twitter account? Why wouldn't they? How are we going to shut that down? Wouldn't that be an act of war?
Underscore.
Hashtag Lahan.
I am from KGB. Shh.
This is from 4 hours ago. Look at the Vladimir Putin visited the construction site of the National Space Center. Ooh, that's good. Vladimir Putin met with the defense minister.
We got the Americans caught upstairs.
Yeah, I'm sure they're talking heavy to those guys. Yeah, right, there's heavy conversations on that space station.
Comrades, we need to talk.
Yo, there's an international Mexican standoff in space right now. They got like ketchup packets. Like, dude, this is the last bit. We will starve, bro.
Ketchup packet folded into a shake.
Whoa.
All right. What?
Twitter, telephone conversation with President of China, Xi Jinping, development in Ukraine.
No, that's weird.
What is this?
I wonder if you go to the Chinese, they have one about, Taiwan negotiations.
Joe Biden fell asleep at the table again. Son of a bitch. Somebody come and get him out of here.
Someone get sleepy old man from chair.
Yeah.
Give to me Orange Man. I like Orange Man. Real competitive.
Orange Man at least play golf.
Has stamina.
For Fat Man play a round of golf at least at the end of the day.
For Fat Man has stamina.
Well, believe it or not, I clicked the link for the phone conversation and it won't load.
That's weird.
That's weird. It literally will not load. It's just spinning and nothing's happening. That's weird. That's unbelievable. President of Russia literally just started a war with another country, still on Twitter. President Trump had to start his own fucking Twitter because he had, quote, mean tweets.
My bad.
On there talking about special operations holidays and conversations with Xi Jinping. If people don't think Twitter and big tech and social media and all these people are in bed with elites and establishment, you're so lost on what's happening in the world. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they're so outside of law, right? Because we don't understand. We don't have social media laws, right? People are groped in the metaverse, right? So we're still navigating this space of digital privacy and all these other things that aren't even in law. They steal all our stuff and sell it back to us in weird ways, right? All our data that's not important but super important. They always lied about it. Amazon Sidewalk, all these other things. And then, if they're not, once again, they're helping Chinese get censored. They're helping these other countries be authoritarian. I seen an article that talked about how for the first time since, whatever. It doesn't even matter about years because nobody cares about what year it is now. But what since like 2008 or something, there's the more autocracies than democracies, which basically means one person rules.
Autocracies.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not by accident, you know. Like it's not by accident.
Hell no.
This is no accident, as Biden would say.
It's no accident. People familiar with the matter said that. So
Yeah.
I wonder what Biden's doing right now.
That's the Rothschilds.
wasn't he going to a vacation or something?
He's long in a vacation in his head.
Dude, you miss Trump. Let's talk about this. Do you miss Trump?
I do. I miss people bitching about him.
I don't know if I
You miss
necessarily
Trump.
miss Trump or I know what a disaster is happening right now. I don't understand how I mean I know why they do it because they're creating their narratives, but I just don't understand how you could watch the Trump presidency and then watch the Biden presidency so far unfolding right after it and still look back at Trump and say that he was a disaster. He had record economy at one point before COVID.
Did you see him
Didn't start any wars, had Middle Eastern peace deals. How are we looking at that presidency and then looking at Biden and saying, oh yeah, this is better?
This
like
was
a
an upgrade.
1970s SNL skit. It looks just like Saturday Night Live in the 70s during the not ready for primetime players time. It's exactly what it looks like to me.
Trump was at CPAC this week bragging about how he's the first president to not have like a war started or any problems.
He should be. You absolutely
He's
should
the
be.
first president in history to go into North Korea.
Well, yeah, but he talked about
After talking shit about North Korea.
Bush,
He went
Clinton,
on Twitter, talked shit about North Korea, and then he walked in like nothing happened.
Hey, how you doing, asshole?
Yo, and he was like, "Oh, big fat man from America, 6 feet tall." I wish him. Here's the thing.
Nice haircut, Rocket Man.
Right, he's over in England and he walks in front of the Queen. I can't believe that the freaking Royal Guard let him get away with that. And she goes, "Go ahead, Mr. Trump," and let him walk right in front of her the whole time.
That guy got the vaccine.
Swear to God, I seen the video today. I left my ass off about it.
And yeah, I kind of miss Trump, man. Not like his Twitter's around, but I seen some screenshots. Some screenshots, rotating the timeline about him responding to Kim Jong-un's missile attack, and like, think about the times with the submarines that like my button's bigger, or like my missile's bigger. Next time I'll send a missile when the ships got close or something.
Incoming!
He came and saved those people. He took out al-Baghdadi with the dog, right? Like suicided like a coward, He died like a coward, begging for his life. My president's like,
but it's important to note the difference between that kind of foreign policy and what we have now. He kept things peaceful with power and basically threats of our military.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to use the military. You just have to let people know. Listen, just remind them we have a better military than you. We will not hesitate to kick your ass. So stay in line.
Yeah, I heard a very similar speech from Putin yesterday. It was. That don't get me started because I'll get something started. You'll be sorry I did.
Well, here's the problem.
But
right?
that's the way they look at war.
I know, but here's the problem. Like, there's nuclear weapons, right? And Trump was obviously seemed like he was more willing to just like fuck it, use it.
Where's my buttons? I need two at once.
Is this the right side?
Hey, what? Hey, Valet, come here. What was that number I gave you earlier today?
Is it the red one or the blue one?
Give me that red ticket.
He had a label maker printed out and put on the button. One said Russia, one said China.
Yeah. He pushes.
Give me my buttons. I don't know which one I'm hitting first.
Fucking both. Yeah.
He's got a stick that's got 2 fingers. Mount St. Helens.
Could you imagine?
It's open.
Pay somebody to press the button so he has plausible deniability.
I mean, I was
I
golfing.
hit the switch.
I was golfing.
John Kerry would lose his mind if a nuke went off. Could you imagine the atmosphere problems that would cause? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, it probably hit someplace he's got a child ring. A child selling ring.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear about those other islands, dude. I mean,
oops, sorry.
Anyways, back to missing Trump. Yeah, talking like this all the time. It was fantastic. Dude, it's really a shame. It's like, it took like a once in a lifetime event to like get rid of that guy. Think about that.
Yeah, they tried to impeach me and they didn't get me.
He got impeached twice. What are you talking about? And might have won the election.
Right. He did win.
Nope. Can't say that. He lost in a safe, secure election.
Yo, I also thought about this, right? Speaking of that, there's all this talk about like Facebook.
As secure as Seattle was.
There was all this talk during 16 and 2020 about election meddling in these foreign countries, right? Chinese and Russian. But now I'm supposed to believe TikTok, which was owned by the Chinese, is telling me the right stories about all these Russian fighter jets killing everybody. I don't know, honestly. The media, hold on. The media lied to me the entire time about COVID-19. Why would I believe them now?
They used the information they had at their disposal, Ryan.
Yeah, Ukraine's been going on way longer than COVID, and they have less information now, David?
Human beings are disposable, remember.
They didn't have their experts on yet. The experts are on now.
Cult experts.
According to Gates, human beings are disposable.
No, for real. I'm not trying to sow seeds of desperation and revolt within my own country because I love America. It's the greatest place ever. But these corporate media cycles have lied to you about everything that you've ever seen for like the last 20 years at some point, whether or another, or omitted the truth or slandered through headlines. We have proved it on my very program with my best friend Dave here, greatest producer in the world. Gets this great material together. It's not hard. It's like I'm speaking truth because it's not. It just takes 5 extra minutes, and you see the lies of these people. We've shown you the lies. We're done showing you. That's why we've evolved this program into other things, because it's like I can't get up here. We can't get up here every week and prove their lies. So why would I believe you now? Why would I believe you now about anything in the Ukraine? We could call this Ukraine crisis. I'm hearing about refugees and war and cost and climate change and all these other various activities. What did I hear about COVID? The economy, grandma, old people, mask, no mask, vaccine, need masks federal funding. What's different?
Masks are gone.
What's the different enemy? COVID just ran its course. The state of emergencies just are ending. The Canadian convoys conveniently, they're ending the mask mandates up there, and some of the mandates in Canada are loosening. They're loosening them here as well. That's weird when all the truckers were going down to D.C. right when a world war is about to break out potentially. That's weird that all this stuff just happens coincidentally in the same week. In 1 week.
Well, let me run something by you. Because for whatever reason, this was the first thing that popped into my head. But
Conrad,
I can just see this being about media creating narratives. Nolan who's my son, he's 7 years old, right? So he was born in 2014. He came home the other day from school, and he was quite worried about the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, okay? I asked Nolan if he knew this, because I knew he didn't, that the United States has been at war every day of his life since he's been alive.
My life too, except for 4 years.
Well, keep going, Dave. We talked about this. Like, out of 300 years of America, 99% of them have been at war since like long before us. So yeah,
I don't remember the exact percentage, but like myself being born in 1989, it was like 69% of my life or something. The United States has been at war, and we just go about our business, and that's our own country being at war. We have Russia attacking Ukraine on the other side of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to be very nervous about this. Why is that?
Because Hunter Biden's dealings with the Russian...
Whoa.
All right.
If we only talked about that during the election, though.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up. So Dave, so where are you going with that, honestly? Like, not to be like a smart ass or like anything, but like, where are you going with that? Like, why do you think that is personally? Because of media narratives? Because they have to have a voodoo man, a boogeyman?
I don't know if
the state.
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think it has to do with midterm elections.
Okay, how so?
The Democrats are losing ground to Republicans massively.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
COVID.
No.
COVID is why. A majority of the country thinks what's happening with COVID is ridiculous. It's 2 years old, 2.5 years old.
2 years to flatten the curve. You didn't know that?
That's great. Right. People are getting sick of it. People are
I
seeing
can't
now
believe I
that
had to watch that change in my fucking lifetime. Yeah, dude, like 16-year-olds, their whole life, basically their whole adult life will be crafted by COVID. They don't even remember the world before it. We're so old, and we're not even that old. Like, think of that, dude. The whole world changed. So, yeah, so you think, so their saving grace is, like, start World War Trace?
in a weird way, yes. I don't know if it's necessarily... I just think it's about the idea of distracting from COVID and starting to turn that off and moving on to the next. Because there always has to be a crisis, right?
Sure. Money in it. Money in a crisis.
I don't know. I'm not saying there always has to be a crisis, but there seems that there always has to be one.
It's pretty ironic that the Democrats are saying that it's great that the Ukrainian government's arming their citizens.
And let me go a little further with this.
I don't know if, honestly, dude, I don't know if I believe a lot of these myths. Like the president of Ukraine is like an actor, right? He was a comedian actor. And he ran a production company and then ran a TV show about being president of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And he won the election after the TV show aired. He ran that year and won by the same name.
That country's Ronald Reagan?
No,
I'm not. Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not necessarily.
It's fine, but my thing is just like, dude, this whole like, there could be myths in here, man.
There's all kinds.
Why would I believe paid television program? Joe Rogan is not in Ukraine right now.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah.
Elon Musk may be zapping fucking Neuralink to these guys so they can use Twitter and internet, which thank God for private entrepreneur and capitalism. That's weird. Capitalism saving the day like they did during the Berlin air raids.
Always does.
But Elon being able, but these people aren't over there. Glenn Beck's not flying jets over there and fighting with fucking SEAL Team 6.
You don't have to.
No, but this is my point. We don't know the people that we believe for beacons of truth. These people that are like these everlasting Joe Rogan, Tim Pool. None of them guys are there. They have the same information we do. And why would I believe anything?
Beware false prophets, my son.
I don't put past them that they would spin this for the midterm election. David, probably, if anything, that was their saving grace.
Well, and let me go a step further with that idea. What were we always told? We were always told that Putin and Trump are buddies, right? Mm-hmm. Putin and Trump, they were hanging out, right?
Oh yeah, Trump can't win.
Putin got Trump elected with all his Facebook ads, which, by the way, why is Facebook letting Putin run election fraud, right? If that's the thing, and then 4 years later, we're supposed to believe that all this election fraud that happened can't happen anymore. They fixed it, apparently.
Yeah, but, or like the TikToks, or where are we getting our information from? Social media,
right?
The same thing that's controlled all the time. I'm just supposed from very countries that have autocracies.
Nope, not autocracies.
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 Yeah.
Autocrats.
Autocrats. Let's just
these collectivists. It's just collectivism.
Too much money.
It's just collectivism. Any way you slice it. But I'm supposed to believe all these. I'm not saying it's lies. I'm not saying it isn't. But I'm supposed to believe. Come on, man. Snapchat's only so good. I think you can overflood the algorithm to some degree, but I don't know,
yeah,
dude.
I mean, Putin, Trump, Republican, Trump, Republican, Putin, Republican. I don't think it's crazy. I think especially if you got to consider the fact that maybe they're getting desperate. They're seeing these polls, and they know they can't do what they know what happened in 2020 couldn't happen again. Not that they did it, but if it happened again, people would get really suspicious.
Well,
what do you mean, like 2 elections in a row?
Like if 2 major elections in a row, votes just got found in the middle of the night for Democrats.
So, real question. So, do you think the first time when Trump ran, they didn't think he'd win, and they just thought it would be super close?
I think I thought... I do think to an extent that they thought Trump didn't have a chance. I didn't think Trump had a chance in the primary.
We didn't.
Like,
no.
Yeah, this is...
I voted for Trump.
And then, dude, we were like, yo, give me the orange guy.
Right, I wanted him from the get-go.
I can't wait to see the tweets.
Something other than the status quo.
I can't wait to see Trump tweets on social media again through his Truth social media.
I mean,
like when they cycle through to Instagram, you know what I mean? When people share his tweets to Instagram or Face.
Is there still like a big wait list to get on that?
I have no idea, but it's going to be glorious.
What president was running for re-election in the 1980s? That would be like 1984 election. That would be Ford. No. I'm trying to think when the first time I voted for president.
You're born before blacks could vote. So, anyways, what else you got, Dave?
And I had black friends my whole life. I never thought nothing of it. Now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, I was such a weirdo. No wonder people hated me like that.
You did have redneck.
Because
you
I
did have a
friends.
redneck.
Yeah, I never cared about a skin color.
Freaking farmer. Ukrainian family descendant farmer.
Sorry, man.
I told this to somebody too. I'm just going to bring this up about the Russia-Ukraine thing. I know our main goal is to highlight distractions, but I told somebody and my family as well. Like, I'm old enough that if my family stayed there, I would be alive to fight the Russians right now. Like, I know it's like, my dad's mom. I know it's my dad's mom and all this, but his dad's family migrated from there. So, like, the idea is, like, they could have just found, I wouldn't necessarily be Brian, but, like, the idea that someone my age of my family potentially would be it'd be like my brother fighting. Like a sibling of mine, my cousin fighting. Literally a cousin of mine. It could be a cousin of mine. My cousin actually could be a cousin of ours could be there.
Sure.
Right now.
Definitely.
There are 300 people.
So like I brought it up to people. He's like, it's not about your ethnicity and stuff. It's just like, this is why it matters. Because, you never know how you're connected to anything. But like the thought of the idea of freedom, it's important.
That's
because I seen a picture of a guy holding a gun, one-handed, it was bandaged, smoking a cigarette with a hard hat on, just blasting away. It's like, that's why I care.
Careful with that kind of talk, though, Ryan, about freedom. That's far right-wing sloganage.
Maybe to autocracies.
Like this over here.
Maybe autocracies.
To answer your question, Ryan, I don't really have anything else.
No, that's it. All right. Well, I got some record here.
Ryan's record.
Yeah, I got a little bit. We import oil from Russia. It don't need to be said. Putin's still on Twitter and has his bank accounts. I wonder why. I wonder if he pays Twitter.
If only we had a nice large pipeline that could deliver product to us.
I paid $4. What was that?
And now that there's a trucker strike, Biden's guys can't even haul the oil from Canada to us that the pipeline would take over for.
I don't know if this is on Ryan's record, but the truckers are coming to D.C.
Yep.
They should.
They are.
And you know what? They shouldn't stop after a mandate. They shouldn't stop through a war. Nah.
Nope. Keep going.
But we all got to pay. We're going to pay for it. Because I paid $4 for a loaf of bread today. It wasn't Walmart $2 bread because I refuse to eat that garbage. I know I pay a little higher quality. I get that. But $4 for things that I drive by every single day of my life is pretty unbelievable.
Flour's cheap, bro. You're gonna have to start making your own bread. I got a bread mixer at the house.
If there's any
I do too, buddy. I do too.
If there's any there.
Yeast is getting hard to find, though. Stock up.
All right, Elon.
Yes, yeast is very hard to find up here. So if you can find it, stock up on it just in case.
Elon gives Ukraine internet fake-ass myths, war stories about the 13 sailors, the ghost of Kyiv with that flying airplane. I don't know if I believe it all. I hope it's not false. But I just keep seeing rumors. Rumors emerge of a guy taking out Russians. It's like, yeah. Sounds great.
So who's going to end up deciding, though, if this is misinformation and it gets polled?
I don't know. I'm surprised they're letting it out now. Why would you let that out now and not say it's misinformation? Unless it was to breed this. Because think about it. If they gear the war machine, especially here at the home front, they were like, fuck yeah, go Ukraine. Fuck the Ruskies.
What a better way to start, to jumpstart.
I mean, think about it. Our football team's already the commies. Commies. I mean, let's go.
Think about it, though. What a better way to jumpstart
our war machine. Yeah,
get the war machine.
Jumpstart our war machine by
pissed off for a reason. Let's go after Russia.
It's the same thing with 300 and Leonidas. I've spoken about this before. It's not that it didn't happen, but I'm telling. At some point, turn off.
Seems to me.
At some point, it can be just like ancient propaganda. This could just be propaganda. So that's what I'm saying. Also, Ryan Record, moving on. 1984 is being retold from the feminine perspective.
What is...
Really?
I swear to God.
What does that mean? Like Orwell's wife?
I don't know. I don't know if they started writing it. I seen the headline. I punched it and I looked into it and I started reading about it. And it was just basically like the rights are being agreed to so that it's like more fitting for feminism, basically.
Given the timeline, it's probably going to be a cookbook.
I can't wait to hear. You know what I'm really excited to hear about? How angry and cranky women can be when they're fucking starving.
And there's ice cream in the fridge.
Or you know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be one man in the neighborhood sleep with all the women because he's rich. I wonder why that happens in
or
communism.
handy, rich or handy.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in capitalism.
Okay.
Yeah, first time since 2004, the BTI measuring autocracies more than democracies around the world, which is important because at some point, like, imagine us being the only democracy, and then we're trying to like consort with other people from democracies and free people.
Well,
like, we'd have to
what
like.
do they consider us since we're, constitutional republic?
Yeah, I was just.
I seen a picture today. Moving forward here, before I get flagged for promoting racism. I seen a picture of NASA having 3 galaxies colliding together.
I'm sure this is fine.
It's just a rave in the
It was like super far away, but the whole point was, honestly, it looks crazy. It don't even look real.
It's a rave in the
But it's
cosmos.
definitely real.
It's a rave in the cosmos.
It's just so cool.
Yeah.
Space is cool.
Space is
Yeah.
Everything recycles.
Back to the autocracy things. The reason there's autocracies, I can't even say that word. The reason there's
Autocracies.
whatever. The reason
reason there's shitbags who don't believe in people.
The reason there's shithole, let's use Trump's words. The shithole countries exist because there's no wealth there. And it's easy to have collectivism because one guy with the wealth is like, hey, I'm here to save everybody. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's got all the answers. And it's like, yeah. Then you get Pablo Escobar in Colombia. So.
Yeah, but there's hippos.
Or Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin, that'd be weird.
Yeah, but how do we know Vladimir Putin isn't trying to wipe out the deep state?
Time magazine. I seen a thing that they talked about how it's time to get over quote COVID shaming. And they talked about how people that get COVID, they almost get like shamed, like, you know, when they've like, have you been unhealthy? Are you unhealthy? Like this whole thing of wearing masks, the stigma of wearing masks still, even though there's vaccines because you don't trust other people. And
how about getting rid of the idea of shaming unvaccinated people?
How about freezing bank accounts for people that
COVID shaming? I've never once heard somebody get shamed for getting COVID. You know what I've heard people get shamed for to the point where
what have you heard?
The government was attacking them in a northern country of ours.
Violently. Did you hear? Remember the forced masking in Australia?
Lady got ran over by a horse.
Fucking mask.
This is unbelievable.
Shot. We're gonna shoot you with bullets because you
COVID shaming.
That's not even real.
This is the problem with being able to hashtag everything as a definition. This is ridiculous. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. $4 bread pissed me off so hard today. It was not even funny. I looked at all the prices at Walmart. It's like I should punch every aisle.
I'm surprised you haven't had a cheese food.
I should punch the $4 sign down and just be like, "This is free."
What's your milk like over there?
$3.95 a gallon for store brand, $5 to $6 for the name brand.
But I paid like almost $5 for store brand not that long ago.
Yeah. Speaking of overpaying for milk, I seen that there's a former stripper is running for Congress, and she's breaking the stigma on sex work.
Your segue to that was overpaying for milk. That is the most perfect segue I've ever heard in my entire life.
I only say that because judging by her, if you gave her $5, that would be overpaying.
Wow.
She was probably hot. Like
also, the milk.
Yeah, but you know what? She has seen the world through a different side, and she may have.
You can't become a cop if you do crystal meth one time, but I'm gonna trust an ex-whore with my civil liberties. What the fuck is wrong with people? There's no stigma to break. I don't want my daughters being whores. What is wrong with that? It's not slut shaming. They shouldn't be tramps. Sorry. I don't want a whore. I like whores, but I don't like daughters that are whores.
Well, somebody's daughter's got to be one.
I don't want my daughter. We should promote it.
Kamala Harris is personally going to remove this video.
Fuck her, man. Fucking Trey. She's running a Treyway to VP. But I got to hear about the president having multiple mistresses. He should. He's fucking awesome. What is how Kamala Harris done other than lay on her back? Nothing.
Kamala Harris was super excited to hear about the convoy coming to D.C.
Yeah, she can blow a lot of horns.
Like, this is the longest train I've seen since college.
Yeah, she gets to blow a lot of horns.
I know how she paid off $10K in
student loan debt.
Jesus criminy. Yeah, there's no stigma to break. If you're a whore, that's fine. If you're going to get paid to be a whore, even better. You're monetizing your skills. It's a short set mindset. It's not going to be conducive to long-term health or a stable relationship. That's why I'm against it, because I don't want my daughter to be a dumb whore. Sorry.
I'm so glad you are the dad you are.
Sorry. I love my little girl. I don't care if her innocence is broken and all this. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm just worried about her not being a little hoe. Okay? Right. It's a big deal to fathers out there that we don't have hoes for daughters.
Yes,
yeah, I'm
going to raise hoes for daughters. They're going to be treated like hoes. That's why there's hoes.
I have a quality advantage of having a son, so you don't have to worry. He can just
a stick might be the way.
Go do whatever he wants, and it's fine.
Yeah, but that's not true, because with a girl, with a boy, there's only one little thing you got to worry about. With a girl, there's all of them you got to worry about.
Speaking about worrying about everything, the school has things to worry about, considering parents are starting to sue them in multiple states. They are filing and, as they say, lawyering up. It's amazing how all these things happen in the same week, and all these things start to dissipate when other things anticipate. So my point of bringing it up is I hope these people don't let down and forget that there was violations of civil liberties.
Keep the power, people.
What are we saying?
Decembertainment.
Hey, speaking of lawyering up, Kyle Rittenhouse. Is that on your record?
Suing LeBron James. I've seen that this week as well.
Potentially, yeah, all the people who went after him, Whoopi Goldberg, LeBron James, and people on The View, and all the people who came out after he was acquitted and said he was a murderer and a white supremacist. They started a thing, too. It's called the Media Accountability Campaign or something along those lines, but he's taking it to him. He's not backing down. Good for him.
He should make his own media outlet.
He didn't have any money beforehand. Now that he's got money, might as well use it.
And I hope he helps other people.
What's it going
to? Because listen. Look, Canada coming for the bank accounts. I've said for years. Alex said for years. They'll take everything: your pension, your 401k, your retirement. They'll drain your bank accounts, your assets. They'll freeze everything.
That sounds crazy, Ryan.
But if we're just the idea of just funding and supporting somebody through a GoFundMe page, which is crazy considering they tell me my information is not that valuable, but they literally talk to my insurance agencies about it. Anyways, this is Canada in particular. But there's a reason. Like, they will go for broke. They will take for everything. It's important that these people win because then they can support other people. That's like what's important. Kyle Rittenhouse, when he makes all this money, I hope he doesn't just run away into the sunset. I hope he not builds a media outlet, but maybe he could podcast and have on these people, or if he makes this organization hold media accountable, things like that. Like we have to think like that, like defending patriots, because they're coming for all. We will all stand together or hang separate, as Benjamin Franklin said it. I would say differently, but YouTube has algorithms that are my enemy.
The song has been sung.
The end of the mandates? Question mark. I'll let you know next week. Decembertainment this week.
I'm here.
All right, enough being obnoxiousy. I think his name's Alan Watts. I'm just kidding. I know. I don't want to get the part I have written down.
Love you, kid.
Alan Watts. All right. I should talk the East a lot for good reason, because they suck. But there's their mascot right there, Continental. I don't know if we ever.
It won't focus on his face. That this Chinese camera doesn't believe in patriots.
Oh, it's the pale skin.
I think it's probably pretty accurate, other than Frederick Douglass.
Funjamin. Oh, I like that.
He had blonde hair. That would be
guy. This guy would be in Ukraine right now. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it looks like my cousin.
If I was 30 years younger, I would probably be.
Well, maybe not right now. He'd have a long trip over there.
If my grandmother was still alive, I would be.
Moving on to my Decembertainment.
Interesting.
Alan Watts. He's like a English philosopher or something. I got lost in the YouTube algorithm this week. I've been listening to a lot of motivational stuff. Jordan Peterson, Steve Harvey's got good stuff, but just trying to stay focused, get back in the zone, figure things out.
Steve Harvey is a legend. I love Steve Harvey.
I grew up listening to him on the radio at the farm.
He is
We're just racists who believe in freedom, though.
Yeah, he's I mean, his story's great. He was sleeping in his car, right? He slept in the same suit or something, if I remember correctly, for like a week. I don't know. He's got all these crazy stories, right? And he's worth millions, billions, whatever.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love looking at these people that come from nothing. I had a line myself this week that I didn't come from nothing to not be something. And that's what all these great people become, is something from nothing. And it's like the inspiration that has been told for forever. David and Goliath, right? The little man takes on the giant. That's the idea of everything. It's the idea of America at its heart, right? Taking on the British, right?
Kicked your ass at chess with pawns the other day.
Yeah, and anyways, Alan Watts. He actually he popularized basically like the Indian, Chinese, the Buddhist, the Taoist, and stuff like that for Western audiences, right? And the ideas and the ideologies over there. And it was cool to like get lost in this different kind of mind. But it's basically about yourself, right? Like the law of attraction, a lot of these things. And I don't know, it was pretty cool to hear the different. I obviously boast about the West because we live here, and we're a Christian nation. I think I'm a Christian to some point, like, and but the point is like to hear this different point of view, and like, I didn't like absorb it fully, obviously, but it was something I held belief, right? Like, I think we're made in the image of the Creator, right? Like, I think we're gods on earth in a way. And I think that's proven every day with our actions, the way you can influence people's lives and the way you can affect people. You can make change. You can bring war. You can bring peace, right? So, I don't know. It was just something to think about. Everybody's going through our own shit. Woke up the other day, seeing this Ukraine stuff, and I kind of went back to this whole Alan Watts thing. I didn't listen to anything, but I thought about it heavy because it's you got to be centered, right? This world is pretty crazy. That's why, a lot of people distance themselves from politics and stuff. But, hopefully that's why Dave and I are here, to make it fun for you guys. Thank you all for your time. You especially, David. Me as Dad as well. My biggest fan. Dave's the biggest fan as well. Thank you everybody for watching. 7 p.m. Eastern. We drop live on YouTube. Can't wait to see you guys there. Rumble as well. Facebook. Check us out. Until then, see you guys. If you made it to the end, I appreciate that the most. Like, comment, all that jazz. Also, go Ukraine.
I hope none of my family members are hurt in anything that happens there.
Yeah, we'll see. If not, I just got that much rarer. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's why I had so